We can talk about how when you get to 25, you start to get fat.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Hello, YouTubers. Welcome. Me and Sam kicking it again. Yeah.
I'm smoking to encourage Nip to take up the habit. I also got a haircut. What do you think, everybody? Do I look less fat? Because that's what I want to talk about today, being fat.
Yeah. We've just been discussing it off camera. We didn't really have a subject matter for this because Sam's actually going away early tomorrow morning to New Zealand and stuff. So I thought I thought we'd give you a little taste of the Nick and Sam show just one last time. How long are you going away for?
I'm going away for 10 days and I'm going to stay in Queenstown and I'm going to go, hopefully this is my plan, I'm at least going to do the world's biggest brick swing, which I don't know if you know about brick swings. It's like a bungee, but it's a static cord. Well, not static, I mean it's just a non-elastic cord. And you jump from a platform and it's like a really massive rope swing. But this one's like it's like a 400-foot long rope through a valley. And you go swinging, and it's called the gimp, because you can do something called the gimp. They tie you upside down, tether you like in a harness upside down, and then they drop you backwards and upside down off this huge platform. It's like, I don't know how high it is, but it's like 400 or 500 or 600 feet from the ground, and you just swing through the valley. I'm gonna do that. I'm also gonna do the bungee jumping. And then the rest of the time, I'm hopefully going to be snowboarding.
So you're going to have a video camera with you guys?
We're actually not.
You're not?
No.
Well, that's fucked. Because
we're taking a digital camera, just a stills one.
Yeah, but you know, we're like all the YouTube fans of the Nick and Sam show. We're actually thinking of starting our own channel, just the Nick and Sam show, so we can put all the Nick and Sam videos on because we're so highly entertaining.
Oh yes, we are. So I'm sorry about the ghost hunt. If you any of you that bothered to watch it, the production values were super low. I watched it and went, wow, what a failure. Basically, we spent more on our 18th century wenches outfits than we did on the budget for the rest of the whole production. The total, it was like $120 on wardrobe.
No, it was more. It was hundreds.
It was like
$120 on wardrobe.
It was $120 on wardrobe, and then about $40 for the rest.
Yeah,
max.
I think it worked out as $175 for the entire night.
So it was a $175 budget production. We had one small LED torch and one very old, ever-ready fucking torch that had very low battery and ran almost dead after about an hour. So, and we didn't have night shot or any other kind of stuff. So, I mean, you barely could see anything. And we quickly realized when we got there. It was funny, actually, because watching it back again, I realized that we both spoke really quietly the entire time we were there.
It's been pointed out by them. They've actually mentioned it. But
And the exact reason why we did this, I'm not sure. I didn't feel like talking loudly. It's like as if we'd awaken the dead or something. It
was scary out there, dude. It was actually a bit spooky, you know. Those creepy buildings and shit like that.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was far more scared than I imagined I would be. I was thinking, you know, I was just going to waltz through brazenly, you know, just chatting loudly and being very, you know, fun and entertaining. When I got there, I was actually kind of like looking over my shoulder like, ooh.
Well, that cardboard tube was pretty scary, to tell you the truth.
You know what I think it was?
What?
I think it was a wild animal.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon there was a possum or something. Or any other. I mean, we saw a bilby.
Yeah, okay, Gigolo reckons that we didn't see a bilby. He said we might have seen another kind of... He said it was probably a rat. Well, it definitely wasn't a rat.
It was a Look, mate, I know a bilby.
It was a bilby.
One. It was a fucking bilby. It had the long, pointy, thin nose that goes really, really thin. Had the very thin, long, rabbit-like ears, but much thinner and more flute-like. And it had the little sort of rat's tail thing. It was definitely a bilby. I was astonished because, I just dropped the camera that you're currently looking through at the moment. We were walking along, and Nick told me to hold something that he pilfered from the quarantine station. Next thing, I dropped the camera, and luckily it landed on the toe of my shoe, so that took the blow and it tumbled across the ground. I was sort of thinking, should I let Nick know I've done that? And
then, obvious.
Then he saw, and I'm like, damn. And then suddenly, just after that, this bilby fucking comes into view. I'm like, God damn it, the most interesting thing that's happened. I've never even seen a bilby in the wild before.
And the tape had just run out, so it was fucked up.
We could have shown you a bilby, because we lit it up with the torch, and we actually had it, like, right illuminated up, and it didn't do anything. It just carried on nibbling
Yeah, I was
away.
trying to catch it, actually. I mean, like, in a friendly way. I was, kind of going... trying to coax it over, but...
A friendly way.
But, yeah, I wasn't trying to do the aggressive approach, run over and fucking bag it or anything. But,
Well, I remember the time you told me the story how you grabbed the octopus out the hole.
I did. I caught a fucking big octopus out of a little rock pool down at, where's, I don't know, it was one of the northern beaches, there was this bloody rock pool and there was an octopus. And we just saw its tentacles sticking out and I was like, fuck. And I put a little shell there, and I reached in and grabbed it, pulled it back. So I put a bigger shell there, and I reached out and grabbed it, and I grabbed the shell too. And it was a fucking strong bastard. It was like playing like tug of war with me and stuff. And then I thought, this isn't a blue-ringed octopus. I'm going to catch it. And then, so what I did in the end, it was right up underneath this ledge. So I just reached in and scooped out all the sand, pulled it out and picked up this bloody big octopus and fucking, it started, jumping around, it squirted me with ink, and then it literally jumped out of my hand, and then fucking, crawled its way back across the thing back into the water. It was amazing.
Yeah, I caught an octopus once I was trying to catch crabs in a crab net with an old friend of mine, and at first we pulled this crab net up, and there was this massive sort of brown sort of lump in there. And we both didn't know what it was, but then it started squirming around, and we were like 13 years old. We freaked out, and I'm telling you, it was an octopus with a tentacle span of about 6 foot. It was it was huge.
That is a massive.
This is in Woi Woi, right? And it's just this massive thing. Like its head was like like those clear polythene bags from a supermarket. It was like that big. And it was like flat, its head's just lying flat on the ground because it's got no water to fill it up. And it climbed its way because it has like a sort of track that goes it has a sort of bottleneck through it that, so crabs can't escape. They climb in through the small hole, they can't get. But this octopus, they're so clever, they're actually meant to be cleverer than dogs. And,
they can squeeze
it climbed out the hole. It started panicking. It climbed out the hole. It jumped on. We were on a pontoon. It jumped onto the pontoon and started running across the pontoon. And it got to a crack in one of the boards of the pontoon that was about an inch wide, or not even that. And it started trying to force its way down the crack.
They can do that.
It started going
easy.
And it's wedging itself in this crack, panic-stricken octopus, just wedging it, and it got stuck and it's flapping around, and we were just there going, freaking out. We wanted to catch it.
Is that at Woi Woi Wharf?
It was at Woi Woi Wharf.
The jetty. Because I've caught 3 octopuses there when I was a kid. I caught them all the time. There's heaps of octopuses down there at Woi Woi.
But the best thing about it, right, it got stuck in the crack, but it finally unstuck itself, and then it carried on running, and rather than running to the edge of the pontoon, it ran right down the length of it. So because it had high sides on the pontoon, about 1 foot high, so I guess it just ran down it like a corridor, and it fucking was piss bolting, it was going 10 k's an hour. I was like,
those octopuses can move on land.
Yeah,
and there's like a giant spider with these suction things.
And and all the time it was changing colours, it was like all these amazing undulating colours.
Really?
It was changing from browns to sort of yellows and shit like that.
This story isn't exaggerated.
No, it's true. And then it got to the end of the pontoon and it paused momentarily, and then it jumped into the air and it pointed its tentacles. It shaped itself into a teardrop shape. It pointed its tentacles in this massive leap, and it was a good 4 or 5 feet off the water. It just went boing and just pointed its tentacles into this perfect little teardrop shaped dive and went plop into the water and just went. Then it went under the water. It was whoosh, whoosh, whoosh away.
They are amazing creatures.